Welcome to the Home Education with Ease podcast. I'm your host, Christine Furman, a homeschool mom, entrepreneur, and educator with over 20 years of experience in the areas of elementary and special education. It's my mission to help you create lifelong learners and embrace a holistic approach to education at home. I'll be sharing practical strategies, inspiration, and resources to support your family. Whether you're a stay-at-home mom, a business owner, or balancing work and homeschool, you're in the right place to connect with a community that values education just as much as you do. Join us each week as we ditch the stress, embrace the joy of learning, and set your family up for a lifetime of success. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to the Home Education with Ease podcast. I'm your host, Christine Furman, your home education expert. And today I have a very special guest with me. We were going to have two, but Ella's feeling a little under the weather. So today I have with me Alex, my son. And I am very excited to have him on. And we're going to share about his experience with our new adventure. And I'm excited to share this with you. And then Ella, I'm going to share a little bit about her story as well, because she's feeling a little under the weather today, so she couldn't join us. But today we're going to be talking about something called myotherapy, and it has a lot to do with breathing. So if you've ever heard your child moving around throughout the night, kind of restless sleeping, or maybe it takes them a little bit longer to focus on things, or like I know for us, our experience, it was taking Ella a very long time to fall asleep and stay asleep. That is the biggest thing that we have noticed. Then the other thing that we are really paying attention to is our development in our mouth. So this is why we have decided to kind of look into this myotherapy. So, MyoWay therapy. So I learned about this just recently, within the past 6 months. And I met Dr. Leslie, which actually you guys are going to be able to hear her entire interview on the next episode. And I'm so excited to share that with you. But I couldn't wait to share, because we have already seen success and we haven't even started our program with her yet. And I started doing a few things on my own. So I'm going to share my little experience with you guys here. I'm going to have Alex here. We're going to go through our package that we got already, because we're going to start our sessions on Wednesday. So we're very excited about that. But I wanted just to kind of talk about this a little bit, because it was something that I did not know about, right? Breathing, we just do this normally, right? We just do this without even thinking. However, are we breathing well enough and correctly to help the optimal function of our brain, which then helps us to function correctly and to our potential, right? Right, buddy? Mm-hmm. So think of things like mouth breathing, sleep, restless sleep, snoring, attention, focus, challenges. And then some of the other things like I said, we were talking about like the teeth development, the mouth and the teeth. So we are now getting into this season of braces. And I know myself, I had braces when I was in 7th grade, and then turn around and I had to have Invisalign again within the past few years, because my teeth went right back to the way they were. So my hope is that doing this MyoWay therapy for Ella and Alex, it's going to help them in so many ways. And we've already seen some of those benefits, right? Mm-hmm. So Alex is here. What are some of the things, guys, because I want to tell you too how easy it was to be able to do this, right? Mm-hmm. And so, buddy, let's talk about this. I want to tell you guys, so I was in contact with Dr. Leslie and her assistant. I said, hey, we really wanted to come see you guys in person. They're based out of Pittsburgh. But whenever it was the holidays, we were sick. We weren't able to get up there in person. And I said, we're going to come back up in the summertime, but is there a way that we can kind of see what the next steps look like? Within, a couple days, we were already scheduled for an appointment. And we did it all virtually, all online, right, buddy? And I started the meeting with them. Ella and Alex were in here. We did a whole virtual appointment with both of them. And we're actually going to start our program virtually as well, right?
And they shipped us our packages just in a few days.
Yeah, they did, right? So would you tell them, why don't you lean in a little bit and tell them a little bit about what you thought about the program so far?
I think it's really good.
Okay, and tell me why.
Because it's going to help.
What's it going to help you do?
It's going to help me with my mouth and get it shaped the way it is.
That's right. Because that was something that she was able to see, right? Just from doing a visual, right? Looking at it and saying, this is the shape of your mouth right now. This is where your tongue placement is. And this is what we want to see in your mouth. So we're going to be able to, change that shape a little bit, right? Help with your breathing. Because what's something you told her whenever you wake up? Do you feel rested or do you sometimes feel a little bit tired?
A little bit tired.
Sometimes a little bit tired. I know that we've had some bedwetting issues in the past, right? And that was a concern of mine as well. And it was like, what are some of the strategies and what are some of the techniques or what can we do to make sure that we are fixing the root cause of this all, right?
And another thing that was happening was I was grinding my teeth.
Oh yes, grinding teeth. So she said all of these things were red flags, as she called them, right? And so then whenever you did your call with Dr. Leslie, how'd you feel?
Good.
Pretty good, right?
Confident.
Pretty easy to do, right? She just asked you to kind of see in your mouth, take some pictures, right? She wanted to see if you were mouth breathing or breathing through your nose, right? And then some of the other things, she asked them questions. And we were able to do this all online. So I'm excited to share more with you about MyoWay therapy. But while Alex is here with me, I want him to open his package up. We're going to kind of see what's in here. So this is the first time we've opened the package. Okay. And we're going to look at the materials that we have.
It looks like we got a little booklet here.
Oh, we got a little workbook, MyoBrace workbook. Awesome. Exercises you can practice to get the most out of your MyoBrace and Fast Track.
Nice bag.
Oh, a new bag. MyoWay Center for Kids. So if you are looking, if this is something that you're interested in, definitely let's check that out. This is one of the appliances. So we have no idea. We're going to find out more about these appliances on
a second appliance
on Wednesday. Yep. So they send you all of the appliances that we need. Great. So this one says strengthens tongue muscles, lip muscles, and lip seal.
That's a lip trainer.
This one's a lip trainer. 2 appliances in one.
And this is
another one. Oh, so there are 2 different ones. K1, K3. So these are some of their...
We got the last one.
Oh, we have another one.
We got
K2. So we have K1, K2, K3. Anything else?
And we get some cool
things. Some cool stickers. Those are pretty neat.
I don't think those...
Well, those might be for something. And then those are the tablets to clean them. The appliances.
Then we got...
And another appliance for your tongue. Tongue and lip press. Yep.
That's cool.
So what do you think that we're going to be... There's something else? One more thing. I think something else.
Oh.
Nope, nothing else. So Alex, how do you feel about going through this program?
I feel fine. The only part that you mentioned that got me a little worried was me having to get my tongue tie snipped.
That was a little worrisome, huh? And that was something that caused a little bit of concern for both Alex and him, right?
Alex and Ella.
Alex and Alex and Ella.
2 boys.
No,
a boy and a girl.
I have a boy and a girl. Yes, Alex and Ella. And as soon as she said that, they both were like, "What? We didn't sign up for that," But what Dr. Leslie then, shared later, she said that possibly if the tongue starts to do what it's supposed to do, you might not even have to get a tongue tie, right?
That's what got me excited about trying my hardest to get this done.
Yes. And she said, too, you have to do this how often?
Not often.
We have to wear it at night.
Yeah.
And then
all night and then 1 hour.
And then 1 hour during the day. And they both were like, we could do that. Nice and easy, right? So we're going to start incorporating this into our educational day, right? Our curriculum, if you will, because it's just going to be part of our day now, just like everything else, right?
I don't even know what I'm supposed to wear yet. So.
Right. We don't know yet. We're going to find that all out on Wednesday, and I'm excited to learn more about it.
It looks cool.
It does look pretty cool, huh? So what do you hope to get out of this?
I hope not to. I'm hoping it will get me back on track.
Mm-hmm. Like so, focus-wise?
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes that happens for you, right? Focus, emotional, outbursts, let's say, right? Sometimes that happens where it's hard for us to control our emotions, right?
But other times I'm super energetic.
Yes, super energetic. Why don't you come back over here? Yes, very energetic, but you are able to get your work done, right?
Yeah.
So it's not really hindering your work, but if there is something that we can do to just make it even that much better, right? Let's try it.
Actually, I've, for my work, I'm hoping this will help me during more of the day and not more of the morning. Because in the morning, I'm sometimes I'm ready to go, unless it's Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, you're pretty ready. You're pretty on target, right? But then as the day goes on, you get kind of tired. Which Dr. Leslie was concerned that possibly you're not getting good sleep at night, which then you're not able to stay, to be able to have that energy and that motivation all day, right? Yeah. So we want to make sure that we're going to get good restful sleep, so we're not restless in the night, right? Making sure that we are able to focus and
She did say stay in one place, because usually sometimes my covers are all wrapped up in one ball.
Yep. And you've fallen onto bed before?
Yes.
Yes. Not so great, right?
Also, I've fallen on my dresser.
Yeah, that's not
my
good. Nightstand.
That hurts.
Yes. It does hurt. So we are really hoping for that really good sound sleep, also changing the shape of his mouth, allowing room for his teeth to grow or to, come in the way that they're supposed to. And not that it will replace braces, but it may reduce the amount of time that we're going to have with them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say before you head out?
Yes.
What?
Bye.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you. So that was Alex. And I'm also going to share Ella's story. So Ella was really the biggest concern of mine. Alex, I definitely had my concerns, but Ella, I was the most concerned with because she could not sleep. And I'm sure I've talked about this here before. I have talked about it on my Facebook page. I've shared in my community, what do we do to help our kids sleep and get a good night's rest? Because that was a challenge for her. It takes her so much longer to fall asleep. Where here's the thing, for Alex, I wasn't as concerned about this because 9 o'clock, he is asleep. He is ready for bed. He has never had issues falling asleep, staying asleep. He is my good sleeper. And from what I can see as an outsider, right? As a mom, I am not being interrupted in the middle of the night. He is not waking up or coming into my bed or anything like that, right? However, he was having accidents pretty regularly and they have stopped, but that was something that was a concern of mine. What are we doing to figure out the root cause of why we are having accidents, right? So then on Ella's side, it was more about how can I help her to fall asleep and how can I help her to stay asleep? Because it would take her a very long time to fall asleep. I would come out of her room thinking that, okay, I put her down for bed, and she would come down and she'd say, I can't fall asleep, or come into our room and say, I can't fall asleep. And then there were times when she would wake up and she was so disoriented. So sleepwalking, sleep talking. The biggest concern of mine was right before we had our meeting with Dr. Leslie, our virtual meeting. That night, Ella woke up, and I had heard her because we had just went to bed, and she was already asleep. Now, this was maybe 2 hours after I put her to bed, or, was in her room. So to my understanding, she had probably been asleep for about an hour or so, maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours, right? Well, we lay down and I hear her, and typically she comes into our room and says, I can't sleep, or, she'll come in crying or disoriented. Well, that particular night, I heard her kind of like quickly walk into the hallway, and then she didn't come into my room. She went downstairs. So she walks downstairs and I hear her opening the front door. Holy cow, I am scared out of my mind at this point, because I was like, oh my gosh, like, what if I was asleep? What if I didn't hear her get up? Would she have gone outside? Probably. And that is scary. So I shared that with Dr. Leslie the next day. And of course, that was a huge red flag of saying, like, okay, obviously something is causing her to wake up, right? Like, I don't know what that is. And that was typical of her. Not typical of her to sleepwalk like that, but it was very typical every night. It would take a long time for her to fall asleep. So if we put her to bed at 9, she probably wasn't falling asleep until 10-ish. And then she was waking up crying and upset between 10 and 12, or somewhere in there, right? Or like 12. Yeah, it was like midnight, something like that. But it was consistent. It was every single night. Like, they asked, like, how often? And I was like, every night. And I was like, this has been going on for as long as I can remember. She co-slept with me. And then when Alex was born, they're only 22 months apart, I had to make sure that she stayed in her bed. We get her a toddler bed at that point. She was constantly getting out of bed, constantly coming into our room. And that was just, she just never could fall asleep. And there's other things now that I'm like thinking about. And as I continue to learn more of this holistic lifestyle and journey, there's so many other things to, contribute to all of this. One being, I had just heard this last week, was when I'm taking a homeopathic class right now. And in that class, they were talking about, because they were talking about trauma. And I'm thinking, like, what kind of trauma could she have endured? Like, I have been with her most of every night, right? Very rarely did we go out of town. And if we were, it was with someone that we truly trusted. My parents, and like, I'm thinking the worst. Like, what kind of trauma could she have endured that is preventing her from sleeping? And then in this homeopathic class yesterday, they were like, it doesn't have to be trauma like that per se. It could be something, like one of the examples she said, there was something that was even so mild that you wouldn't even think that was trauma, but it could be trauma to the brain, right? But one of the things that they did say was, what about her birth story? What did that look like? And I was like, oh, that was traumatic. That was an emergency C-section. That was going to the NICU. That was being tested because I had a scare that she was going to have these medical concerns. And as a new mom going through all of this, you do whatever you have to do. And of course, I didn't know all this knowledge that I know now, right? And so, yeah, that was a traumatic experience her birth. So sometimes when we're thinking about a traumatic experience, it doesn't have to be something like an actual event. Maybe it was their birth, right? I mean, that was an event, but something that I never thought of, right? And just want to throw this out there. Caveat, no medical advice here. Obviously, this is all my personal story, my story with my kids on our new journey with MyoWay therapy, and just some things that I have been learning, because when I interviewed Dr. Leslie, and you will hear me next week, I was like, oh my goodness, like everyone should know about this. Why doesn't everyone know about this? Because the things that she'll tell you, I'm like, this could save so many parents. This could help so many children by doing some breathing techniques, okay? And I'm going to share with you today because this is something that you can do at home. So yes, I signed up for the entire MyoWay therapy. We're going to do the program. It's about 12 months. We're fully committed because I was like, I can see the benefit in this, and I want to improve my children's health in any way that I can. We go regularly to the chiropractor. We, take our supplements or whatever I can do right now to benefit them is what I'm going to do. Because one, I have seen the benefit in myself as I have learned more about this, right? If I'm eating whole foods, if I am detoxing my body, if I am moving my body regularly, if I am getting enough sleep, if I am getting adjusted, regularly, all of these things help my brain to stay focused and to be able to complete tasks a lot easier than they did before. And I know that to be true for myself because I could not focus on a task. I have started programs and then abandoned them to start a new program, and ADHD at its finest, undiagnosed, of course, but it is truly what would happen where it's like, oh, boom, I'm going to start this project. Nope, I'm going to abandon that one. This one looks fun. I'm going to go over here and do this. Nope, you know what? That's not fun anymore. I'm going to do something else, right? Constantly jumping. And I saw that wasn't beneficial to myself, to my family. So if I can start to incorporate some healthy habits for my children at a young age, that's what I want to do for them. So that's why we are doing the MyoWay therapy. And I want to share with you what we did do that helped Ella automatically. In the past week, she has not gotten up. She has slept through the night. She has fallen asleep so much easier. Guys, I have tears in my eyes because holy cow. She'll be 11 in March. And we have dealt with sleep issues for 10 years. I literally have tried everything that I could think of. Essential oils, music, night lights, supplements, all of the things, literally. And I was like, what do I even do next? So we have our call with Dr. Leslie. We go through the whole thing. Okay, yeah, I started researching because that's what I do, right? I find out something and then I'm like, tell me more. What else can I learn about this, right? So I research and some videos pop up, right? Some videos from a chiropractor pops up, and then just some like breathing techniques pop up. So literally, guys, if this is something that you're like, okay, I think this could benefit my kids, myself, right? Search MyoWay breathing techniques to help airflow or whatever I put in, or help with sleeping, okay? And 2 breathing exercises I've done with Ella. I showed her how to do them. She has done them, and she has slept peacefully for a week. A week. No waking up. No coming into my room, no sleepwalking. She's woken up refreshed. And it's been amazing to see that. So that's just the tip of the iceberg for me. I can't even imagine what this program with all of these appliances here are going to do and how they're going to benefit both of my children. So I just couldn't hold this in. I had to share this with you guys because as I was saying, like this is affecting so many things. And the biggest thing that made the most sense to me is the oxygen intake, right? If you're able to properly sleep and breathe, getting enough oxygen and breathing it out, that is helping the oxygen and the airflow get to your brain, which is then helping you to think better. I mean, it's amazing. So some of the things, and I'm going to look at my notes here because I don't want to forget some of these things, but poor sleep and low oxygen levels can affect focus and learning. This is why it's so important for me to share this with you. Because when I find out something new, I cannot wait to share it with you. Mood regulation, that was Alex. Growth and development, immune function. Listen to this. This is why some families explore airway focus therapies if their child struggles with bedwetting beyond a typical age, dark circles under their eyes, hyperactivity, frequent illness, grinding teeth at night. Here I was focused on Ella because I'm like, she's not sleeping. What am I going to do to help her sleep? And here, there were so many signs that I was missing for Alex. So what this looks like we showed you with some of these, appliances that we received here, but it's play-based oral motor exercises. So exercising the mouth, the lips, the tongue, breathing, retaining. So nose breathing practice, tongue strengthening activities, posture and core integration, and parent education for home practice. Guys, that's going to help your whole life. If we are practicing to slow our breath, breathe correctly, that's going to also help to regulate our nervous system and help us to be in that rest and digest state instead of fight or flight. So this is good for everyone, and I'm excited to learn right along with Ella and Alex, and I will have to come back and do a follow-up episode to all of this on what they have learned and how it's been improving for them, as well as for myself. I'm excited. I have incorporated some deep breathing after my workouts and sleeping. There was one night that after I showed Ella these breathing exercises, I came in and I started doing them. Oh, I had the best sleep that night. It was amazing. So think about these kind of things. So what I'm going to talk about now, we're going to just kind of wrap up with why is this brain and oxygen, what's this brain oxygen connection, okay? So your child's brain, or anyone's brain, but requires steady oxygen flow to consolidate memory, regulate emotions, strengthen executive functioning, and repair and grow neural pathways. When the breathing is optimal through the nose, slow and steady, oxygen delivery supports brain health or healthy brain development. When the breathing is compromised, especially during sleep, development can be impacted. All right, so, and I mean, this is just so fascinating to me. There's just so much information here, but when you're sleeping, your brain is organizing what was learned during that day. What? I mean, I get it, but like, I didn't think about that before, right? Your hormones are being regulated at that time. The nervous system is resetting. So if we're not getting good sleep, We're not resetting our nervous system. We're in fight or flight. We're constantly stressed. It's a never-ending circle. And let me tell you this fun fact I learned, or I just heard from my fitness instructor. So shout out to Lindsay Bryn from my Moms into Fitness. I've been doing that program for about 11 years now. And if anyone wants to check it out, send me a DM because I will share some info with you. But she said that actually the night starts at 9, or your day starts at 9 p.m. I just heard this recently. And I was like, what? So it all depends on, as you are getting yourself ready for bed and getting a good night's sleep, that is going to dictate your next day, right? Getting yourself prepared, a good night routine, and then getting a good night's rest is going to help you have a regulated nervous system for the next day. I mean, it makes sense, and I love learning things like this. Okay, so let's see what else. Okay, so if you're mouth breathing, so this is MyoWay therapy, is to really make sure that we are not mouth breathing, because that's not great for your jaw development. It's not great for all kind of things, but it says it can contribute to lower oxygen levels, increase the cortisol, which is the stress hormone, enlarge the tonsils or adenoids, alter the jaw and the facial development, and then it could have behavioral symptoms that mimic ADHD. So the learning impact that could be when you have a low sleep quality, you may notice things like shortened attention span, emotional dysregulation, morning irritability. I can attest to that in the mornings here sometimes. Frequent illness, brain fog, difficulty retaining information. And then this was so interesting to me. Sometimes, right, you may hear someone say, well, we just need, a new curriculum. This one's not working for us, or this program's not working for us, or they're just not able to, be motivated to learn, or maybe they have a learning disability, which those are all possibilities, right? I was a special ed teacher. I saw many, many things. But as I am going down this path of holistic health, there's so many things that I'm like, but what if we removed, like the last episode I talked about food dyes. What if we remove food dye? What if we limit sugar? What if we move our body? What if we eat whole foods? What if we remove processed foods? What if we learned how to breathe correctly and get enough oxygen to our brain? What if? Guys, I'm all for the what ifs. Try it out to see if it will work. And I would love to know, one, if you feel that your child has any of these symptoms, if you will, right? Sleeping, trouble sleeping, staying asleep. If your child has any kind of morning irritability or trouble focusing, I would love to know. And then I would love to know, are you able to make one of those changes? And start just taking note. What if you just remove food dye? See what happens. What if you then remove sugar? See what happens. What if you remove processed foods? See what happens. It is a process. It is a mindset shift that has to change when you are going to do some of those things. I know for myself, I'm going to start a anti-inflammatory reset for my body. And that is going to be a mindset shift where I have to change up the foods that I'm making. I have to try out new recipes, and that's going to take a little more time. It's easy to make tacos or burgers or pasta, right? These are my go-to meals because we've been in a busy season. But if I want to start seeing change, I have to do things differently. Think about that for your kids. If you want to see change in your kids, what is something that you can do differently? And when I heard about MyoWay therapy and how that could truly help your child be able to sleep better, which then could lead to better focus, which then could lead to concentration and better memory and all of these things, I'm in. I want to try it. I want to see the benefits, and I already have, and I haven't even started the program. So I would love to know some of those things for you. What does that look like for you and your family? Maybe it's you. Maybe you're realizing, wow, I don't get enough good sleep. And yes, that could be because you have a baby, an infant, a puppy even. I know what it's like to have a little puppy in the house after you've been able to sleep for quite some time. And then the puppy is the one waking you up. So I get that, right? Sometimes there are external factors. But what if you are restless throughout the night? What if your child is unable to sleep? What if they are bedwetting? What if they can't fall asleep? Sleepwalking, talking in their sleep. I was a sleep talker. I gave out my entire address in my sleep one time because I was having a birthday party, telling everyone how to get to my house. And I guess I fell asleep on the couch. This was when I was like, I don't know, I was a teenager. And my mom was there and she was like, you told me your whole address and how to get to our house in your sleep. That's a little scary, right? But again, sometimes we don't know that these things can be, a problem, right? But then also we don't know how to fix it. We don't know what that looks like. We just say, have you ever heard like, oh, you'll grow out of it. They'll just grow out of that. I've heard that for myself, well, not now, but for my kids, right? Oh, they'll grow out of that. Yeah, but why is it happening? And you know me, I'm the root cause kind of person. For all of the guests that we've had on here, so many root cause guests, and we're going to have so many more because really, yes, we're talking about home education, but my purpose is to be able to help you enjoy the time at home with your kids. And if I find a new strategy or technique or, program that is going to help make it easier for you at home, I'm all in. And that's what I want to do for you. So yes, we are talking about, a lot of holistic health, but I've seen the connection now. And I hope you can kind of take some of this information and start doing your own research and see how it could possibly connect for you and your family as well. But guys, I want to just thank you so much for being here. I would love to invite you to the Home Education with Ease Facebook group and let me know what are some of the things that you're seeing with your kiddos that you're like, I don't know what to do next. What if we try X, Y, and Z? And if you want to reach out to me directly, fill out the link in the show notes here and the link for the Facebook groups in the show notes as well, and reach out to me and let's set up a one-to-one call, and I would be happy to talk over all of the things that are going on in your family and help set you up with a plan to set you and your family up for success. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will catch you next week.
Thank you for tuning in to the Home Education with Ease podcast. I hope today's episode left you feeling empowered and ready to take the next steps on your home education journey. Your support means the world to me. Please subscribe, leave a review, and share with a friend. For even more resources, be sure to join the free Facebook group, Home Education with Ease, and visit eduplaylearning.com to explore our programs and subscription kits. You can find the links and any other links mentioned in this episode in the show notes below. Remember, you're not alone. This community is here to support you every step of the way.